Now let's join Loyd at house number 2 and watch closely because the clues are there as we go through the keyhole.
This is a fairly big room. In terms of sheer volume alone, it's very powerful and awe-inspiring. And to this size is added a tremendous profusion of rich architectural sculpture. This hall is presided over by a railway station-sized clock, so punctuality is probably a bit of an obsession with this family. And we can see why, because this room must be a setting for important events with important people. Just look at the staircase behind me. It's almost theatrical in its lavishness. There's a rather amazing Technicolor stained glass window of a biblical prophet and quite a glitzy portrait of Flash Gordon next to me. So these people are surprisingly unconventional. They're certainly willing to take risks. And I think that someone here pictures himself as a bit of a patron of the arts, a sort of modern Lorenzo de Medici. This study is quite sober and restrained. The Napoleonic furniture and the way these objects are arranged on the mantel shelf seems to indicate that there's some sort of French influence here. This desk is ideal for all sorts of tycoonery. It's a great expanse of mahogany and leather. There's quite a snazzy chess set, so someone here must be a keen chess player. Certainly it's the house of someone with an analytical mind. Look at all these scientific and technical books. But it's just a short step into the bar, and this quickly leads into this light and airy drawing room. It has a very feminine feel to it. There are nice bits of gilt furniture, perfectly arranged for intimate conversation. But this room is primarily a room for listening to music. There's a grand piano and a rather ritzy harp. Those things which appear to be bookcases are in fact concealing stereo speakers. Someone in this household is very patient as well. Look at that tapestry. This gallery is almost like a ring road linking various upstairs rooms, so this is probably quite a bustling, sociable family. It's certainly a literate family. There's a tremendous collection of books here, a lot of them in French, and a large number of encyclopedias. Someone is a stickler for detail. This bedroom has been kitted out in the finest Oriental style. Even the clock is an excellent example of Japanese high-tech gadgetry.
It's 2:56 p.m.
Still, no amount of detail can disguise the fact that we're not exactly looking out on Mount Fuji. Let's look at the evidence. The flashy statue, the stereo in disguise, the advanced Oriental timepiece. What sort of person lives in a house like this? David, it's over to you.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Loyd. And now for our home and studio audience. Here's whose house it is. What sort of a person lives in that house, Patrick?
Probably with some money, I would say.
Yes, I think that's fair.
And a good deal of taste, which is nice. I mean, it almost seemed like an embassy from the inside to begin with. And yet, then on the outside, it rather contradicted that. There's a strong feminine influence in it somewhere, but I'm pretty lost on this, David. I think there's an odd juxtaposition of tastes inside as well, which is peculiar. And things have almost seem to have been added haphazard. But it doesn't ring, I can't put a name or any kind of real guideline to it at the moment, but I'm sure that my neighbours will.
Well, Nina will help you out here, yes?
Not at all sure, but I don't know who it is, but if he's thinking of getting divorced, could I please be first in line? I'd love to live there.
You're having Tony Black then, now come on.
Oh, no, please. I think it's absolutely beautiful. There's, as you say, the touch of theatricality. I wonder if it's someone connected with the music world, musicals and the theatre. No.
No, there was a silence. There was a silence there.
Silence there. So it's not a rock star. It's nobody that's connected with theatre. It's not an actor or somebody like that.
Exactly right. It's not an actor. Chris.
Well, if it's not a rock star, it's not an actor. The only other people I can think of who could possibly afford to live in that style are all in Wakefield maximum security wing. And unlikely to be allowed by the governor to appear on a bit of telly. How else do you make that sort of money? Writing? Is it a writer? It's a writer. Yeah. From your face, not a very good writer.
No. Written word, let me say.
Written word. So a journalist as such.
Journalism.
Journalist?
It's not you, is
No.
it?
Would I be here if it was me?
No. No, you being Wakefield.
Are we having does he...
I've read your column.
Patrick's looking as though a thought is coming on.
Does he also appear on television?
Well, he will in a minute, won't he?
Yes. He hasn't got his own series, but he does appear in various guises on television.
And he's a writer. He's a writer as well.
Written word, I think.
As a sort of pundit and wit and authority and general wacky fun box.
How's the size of an embassy? You're not going to get it, are you?
He's an editor of a magazine, a famous magazine, but probably not Angling Times. They seem to think.
He's connected, certainly, with...
I think they're very confused.
Well, he has succeeded in beating the panel. They were getting close, but not close enough. Let's ask our proud homeowner to step through the keyhole. Well, you beat them completely there. They got the written word and they got journalism. They got a
clue.
And I got crime.
I'm glad that'll help you.
We weren't thinking big enough.
No,
That
we
was the
weren't.
trouble.
They weren't thinking big enough, you see.
Weren't you and I suing each other?
No. You were suing someone else on my behalf.
On your behalf. That's very
Or
good.
the other way around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In it together. Oh, yeah. Just good. But that house is, as we know, a magnificent house, and the two tastes are, of course, in the reference to the French, is your taste and your wife, Betty, who is French, right?
Well, my wife is French, and anything good in the house is her doing, and anything that looks like Wakefield is my doing.
The gold statue in the hall, whose is that?
That is my wife. She blew her inheritance on it. She's very, very good. A lady that has had 9 children, Doctor of Philosophy of Oxford, a marvellous lady.
And in fact, you need a house that big with a family that big.
We have a large family, yes.
You described the house once as the biggest council house in the world.
Well, I don't know about being the biggest council house. It is, in fact, owned by Oxford City Council. It is a council house.
Not everybody has a council house quite like that.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to we live on the shop and the premises of Pergamon Press, and it's a great deal of fun. I have very little time to spend there at present.
Now, he was pretty accurate, wasn't he? His adjectives, Bob. I mean, powerful or inspiring, unconventional, take risks. He was summing
All
up.
of that is wholly true.
What about punctuality? Is that, he said you must be
I'm
keen
very
on
punctual, yes.
And you have a great
I
many things to be
insist on
punctual.
punctuality. No, I don't know, but I don't like keeping people waiting if I can help it.
What about the patience thing with the tapestry? You're not very patient. That must be Betty.
That's my wife again, yes.
Yeah.
Everything that she's the better half of the family.
Looking at that house as we've been doing, and Patrick was commenting on the style and everything, what, as you think back, was the happiest time you've ever had so far in that house?
My children and my family being together, every Christmas so far we have managed to be together, and seeing them happy and busy.
And every Christmas you manage...
We managed to get together so far.
A growing family reunion. Well, it's been a joy to have you with us, as it always is, Bob, and I would like to present you, I don't know where this will go in the house, but this is the Through the Keyhole souvenir gold key as a souvenir.
Well, it'll get me into Wakefield, won't it?
It's getting out that's the problem. Getting it's easy.
Well, our thanks to Robert Maxwell, to Patrick Lichfield, to Nina Myskow, to Chris Tarrant, and of course to Tony Blackman as well, and Loyd Grossman. We've got to end it there for now, but until the next time, our thanks to Robert Maxwell, and good night.